Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersfromwhiners.com coming to you with the Monday edition of Today in Sports Betting, talking a little MLB with my pal, Scott Reichel. Scott, you ready for a little baseball?
Yep. Overall, yeah, it looks like a pretty good card. A little bit, I don't want to say light, but it seems like you were expecting a pretty entertaining card after a pretty, I'd say, fun weekend in baseball.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Dodgers and the Padres are not playing again this weekend, so you got to find something else to watch.
Scott, can the Dodgers overcome that bullpen?
Oh, you also have to wonder about when Gratterall returns. So their bullpen's not at full strength, and I do think that's going to matter. Jansen can't close.
Every year, Scott, we talk about this unbelievable Dodgers pitching staffs, unbelievable Dodgers lineup. And then we talked about the bullpen. What? Yeah.
We both don't like the bullpen.
No, they do. Especially if you backwards engineer, you start at the closer. They ain't got one. You and I both think they ought to be using Trinan, but
I think it should be Trinan or Gratterall when he comes off the IL.
For whatever reason, he's fucking resisted that. So
I don't know.
Okay, well, what do you like here, bud?
Well, we're going to start off with one game that's going to be taking place on a team that actually I think screwed both of us yesterday. It involves the Nationals taking on the Cardinals. That's going to be taking place 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hey, remember when the Nationals could hit? That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. They scored at least 6 runs in 3 of the last 4 games and then got shut down by a pitcher with a 12 ERA. But Joe Ross randomly been unhittable so far this season, and he's going up against Jack Flaherty. But you're looking at Ross, 11 innings, 0 earned runs. He's given up 6 hits. And they actually just faced the Cardinals on the road. 6 innings scoreless, got the W. So even the Cardinals get a little bit of revenge after he embarrassed them pretty badly last week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's just so much revenge in baseball as the fact that
it helps to see the pitcher previews.
They just soak up information, man.
Yeah, and that's all I meant. I was joking about the revenge. It was mostly just about the fact that they're going to see the same pitcher again.
Yeah, now that they've got a whole game of data of facing their lineup. I think that's a huge advantage, especially for a guy that isn't very well established. That's they're still trying to learn the intricacies of, and that's Joe Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Flaherty.
I don't know what to think of Flaherty because I know, of course, he's a tremendous talent. His first season was I don't want to say an anomaly, but it was almost impossible to duplicate. He was just that good. What do you think of Flaherty?
I like Flaherty. I like a lot of good pitchers this season, especially. Had a horrible first start.
Yep.
Kershaw had a horrible first start. Bauer had a horrible first start. Flaherty had a horrible first start. He's given up 1 run in his last 11 innings.
Yep.
4 hits.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the talk of Joe Ross and what he's done at 11 innings, Flaherty's actually done better.
Yep, and he also faced the Nationals. Of course, they played each other last week. 5 innings, 1 run.
Yep. 5 innings, 1 earned.
Do I feel like even though they just face each other, don't I kind of have to like the under in the spot?
Yeah, anything involving the Washington Nationals, I think you have to like the under.
Well, with Flaherty and Ross on the mound, plus if you look at St. Louis, this offense has really not done much. I know they scored 14 against the Nationals. They scored 9 in the middle game against the Phillies over the weekend. But you're going through these recent performances here. 3 runs, 2 runs, then you had the 14. 0 runs, 2 runs, 9 runs, 0 runs.
Yeah.
The team has really struggled offensively.
Every once in a while you'll see a team like that. And you put it together and you go, well, they've scored 30 runs in their last 6 games. That's 5 runs per game.
Yeah, except there's a massive outlier in there.
But there's 2 of them. They've scored 23 of those 30 runs have come in 2 games.
Yep. So
the right way to look at it is the other 4 games they scored 7 runs. So you're talking about what, 1.75 runs per game. Yeah. That's so, and you'll see teams like that. Sometimes they're consistent, 4, 5, 6 every game, 4, 5, 6. Then you see teams like this, shutout, 2 runs, 14 runs.
Like the Giants. It's like the Giants, that one game where it was like 7-6, they scored 8. It was like 4-4 at the end of the first inning. People are like, oh, maybe the Giants weren't that a hit again. And then you have like 4 straight on right after. No, it's like they figured it out for maybe 1 game, but this team consistently so far has not hit. I know they still have Arenado, who's been pretty good so far this season. I don't know about his average, but I know that I think he has like 4 home runs. Goldschmidt's been a little bit quiet, but of course he's still very talented. Other than that, though, do they really have much else in the lineup? It doesn't look that way.
You know what though? Again, it's every year it's that way for the Cardinals.
Yep.
You're like, well, I don't know, where the hits are gonna come from.
They usually win by great pitching and great fielding. It's usually how they win, but I'm just saying for the sake of this total, I got to look at the under.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of guys that they really counted on, like DeYoung hitting $160, Goldie hitting 230. Goldie's never a guy that's gonna hit for 300, but he's only got one home run so far this year.
They'll usually push around 30 home runs.
That's what I'm saying. So he's a little behind schedule.
How's Arenado doing? Arenado has 4 home runs, I think.
Arenado has 4 home runs. He's hitting 270. He's having a very Arenado year.
Okay.
10 RBIs. I'll tell you who's carrying this team, Scott, and I'm just have this unnatural hatred for him, but it's Yadier Molina. He's hitting 340. He's also has 4 home runs, which is
I don't know why you hate Molina so much.
What's that?
I don't know why you don't like Molina.
I think he's cocky. I think he's arrogant.
I think when you're that good, you can be arrogant.
I just don't care for him.
Okay, fair enough. I just think he's the best fielding catcher of the last decade or two. So I give him respect. He's a future Hall of Famer guaranteed.
I think Perez at his peak is a better catcher than.
I think that's why you're biased, because I think that you think that if Molina wasn't around, Perez would get a little bit more shine in national media.
I'm sure that's true. Yeah, because his skills are. His arm talent is second to none as far.
Well, Molina's putting up numbers just in general that aren't sustainable based on his last couple of years. He's putting up numbers in the late 2000s.
Yeah, no, Yadi has done nothing, especially as far as power goes. He's had warning track power for the last 3 years.
Just to actually go through the numbers, he's batting .340, which is insane.
About 80, that's about 80 over his average for the last 4 years.
4 home runs, 12 RBIs, 382 on base percentage. Now the home runs he's tied with Arenado for the team lead.
Yep.
Leading in RBIs, leading in average, leading on base percentage. That's not going to happen. We've seen Molina run.
Sustainable.
We've seen Molina run or jog or whatever he does to first base. He's not going to be batting .340.
That's a 255, 260 hitter that should be hitting about 12 home runs.
Yeah, give or take.
So he's off to an unsustainable start. Now, having said that, give me Jack Flaherty. I'll lay the 126.
Okay. I'm just looking at the total here at around 8. I know it's an even number and all.
Yep.
But first 5 under looks pretty attractive in this.
You give me a 4.5 for the first 5, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I'll take the under there. If it comes out as 4, if they're going to play games with us and give us 4 for the first 5, I don't care for that.
Yep, I agree. But if it's 4.5, I think that's basically just a play you have to consider.
Yep. All right. Want to talk about the Royals a little bit?
I know you do, so let's do it.
Oh, they're playing very good ball. They're gotten off their third best start in the last 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
Currently sitting first place in the American League Central. Talking about unsustainable.
They have an ace on the hill, though.
They do. By the way, Brady Singer, very good today, Scott.
I think he's also a listener to the show.
One hit, 6 earned. Well, that's because I told him when he gets it together.
He's got great stuff. He's got great stuff,
He's
right?
got great stuff. He really does.
Yeah.
Danny Duffy's pitching with fire in his eye this year, Scott. This guy, he's fired up, man, because the Royals are starting to believe, buddy. They really, really are. Are they stupid? Maybe.
Well, we like them over the win total. We didn't think they'd be fully competitive in this division. But
I thought they would compete for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
So Duffy goes tonight against Josh Fleming. Scott, not a lot's known about Josh Fleming. Fill in the blanks for us.
So Fleming is pretty much how you would just describe him. He's an unknown commodity, which means for the most part, all things being considered, he's not as, I'd say, he's got potential. I think that's how you got to put it. It's sounding cliched. So far this season, he's 0-1. But he does have a 1.80 ERA, so I'm not going to read that much into it. But he's only 24, so he's one of these guys who Tampa's going to throw in at some point as a classic potential primary guy following an opener, or they'll throw him in to fill some void in the rotation or something like that. But in terms of being a quality starter, I wouldn't call him that. But he looked good in his only outing of the season against Texas. But then again, it was against Texas, so I don't know how much you can actually factor that in.
He's a kid that made 5 starts for him last year.
Yeah, he's okay. I'm just saying he's still a little bit unknown because he's only 24 and the sample size is pretty small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
That's
mean,
absolutely true. And there's
5-0 last year in 5 starts. He had a 2.78 ERA, so his numbers have been great. But I don't know how sustainable it is and how much of that is just, I don't say fluky, but anytime you have these new pitchers who suddenly come out to shoot pitching really well, you got to question how sustainable it is long term.
well, and I will ask you that especially because Scott, he's got an ERA this year of 1.80. He's got a FIP of 6.10.
Yeah.
That indicates there could be storm clouds on the horizon.
Yep.
Because he's gone 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 dinger, 2 walks, only 2 Ks in 5 innings, Scott. That's not good.
Yeah, his strikeout to walk ratio is 1. Now, last year was 3.6, so it definitely was better, but even 3.6 isn't as good as you probably want it nowadays. But, yeah, the issue that I think that Fleming's going to have in his career is that he kind of pitches to contact, as you just alluded to.
Yep.
And I think that that's going to be an issue moving forward. And Kansas City, this offense has been inconsistent. Occasionally it's good, occasionally it's not good. For the most part, it's not good. I think we can agree on that, so maybe he'll pitch well. But, I mean, Duffy's been fantastic. It's a question of Tampa ended up sweeping the Yankees over the weekend. Is that Tampa being good or is it the Yankees being bad? And as a Yankees fan, I don't really think Tampa did anything that was that spectacular over the weekend. I just think the Yankees aren't a very good team.
No, I agree. The Yankees are not playing good baseball right now at all. As far as the odds go on this one, we're let's see. I don't have a price on this. You got a price on this?
It's pretty close to a pick 'em there. Tampa's around minus 108, give or take. So Duffy's a slight favorite, but it's basically pick 'em.
Where are you seeing it? DraftKings?
I'm looking at a database.
Okay.
Let me see if it's up on DraftKings. It's
not
not
on
DraftKings.
it's not on FanDuel, so.
Okay, let me try Fox Bet. Either way, according to some database, it says that it's around pick 'em.
Okay.
I know how accurate that is, but that's all we got right now.
Yeah, that's probably pretty solid. That seems about right.
I actually thought Tampa would be favored, just based on pure reputation.
I will. I'll ride the hot hand here, Scott.
I see Fox Bet is minus 110 on both sides. It's literally a pick 'em.
Okay.
I'll go with the Royals as well. Tampa, they looked good against the Yankees, but you look at that team or that lineup, it doesn't really jump off the page. I'll tell you that much. And the Yankees' inability to score runs doesn't change the fact that I think this Tampa team is definitely a lot weaker than it was last year. In Kansas City, they might not be able to hit that well. Still got Merrifield, still got Soler, still got some good pieces there. Perez as well. Yeah, give me the Royals. Why not?
Yeah, this is a Royals team that's really done well against left-handers so far this season. They've averaged 5.1 runs per game, hitting 250, which in today's major leagues, that's good.
It's Hall of Fame numbers in today's MLB.
So they do have a lot of pretty much everybody you mentioned is right-handed. Soler, Merrifield, Perez.
I was going to say Carlos Santana, but he's a switch, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's struggling a little bit right now as well, but
I'm saying that's another righty bat that you could just move over.
Yeah, so we're going to see. I consider playing some kind of a player prop with Perez because he's a streaky hitter and he is on fire right now. He's hit some balls that Yadier Molina just dreams about.
Okay, I knew it was going to come full circle.
Circle of life. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, there's one game I'm fascinated by. Well, of course, the Dodgers are playing, so I mean, anytime you can have them playing the Mariners, you got to look at the run line potentially. But that wasn't the game I was going to talk about. It's the late game between the Brewers and the Padres, which I just think is a very fascinating game.
Yeah.
Musgrove had the no-hitter and then did not pitch well on his next start against Pittsburgh, which is expected because most pitchers after a no-hitter don't pitch too well. Meanwhile, you have the forgotten ace on Milwaukee because Burns has been so good this year. People kind of forget how good Brandon Woodruff is, and he is a phenomenal pitcher in my opinion. Been great for the last couple of years. I think it's a great matchup. And I know San Diego at home, of course, has more talent, and they're good at Petco and Slam Diego and blah, blah, blah. I really like Woodruff, and I think that the Brewers have a pitching advantage in this spot, but the question is Milwaukee's lineup has not been too good this year. So can they actually, hit, which I don't know about yet?
That is the problem.
Because Yelich is on the IL now, so that doesn't help. But you have any thoughts on this game? I'm just looking at the line. I'm going to go Milwaukee first 5. Because San Diego's around minus 145, give or take. And the longer this game goes, I still have less faith in the Brewers scoring because the total is 7 flat. So I'll take the Brewers first 5, just assuming Woodruff's going to pitch well again.
If we can get 4 for a total on the first 5, we'll play the under.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'll tell you, Scott, it's kind of the narrative that, I mean, for you predicted that Joe Musgrove wouldn't pitch well as timeout after the no-hitter. So that's not exactly accurate.
It's not. It's a lot of selective recall.
He didn't go long. He went 4 innings. He gave up 4 hits, just 1 earned on a home run. He gave up a solo home run.
How many runs did he give up that wasn't earned?
What's that? None.
That was it?
His only run he gave up.
I just saw it was 5-1. I thought he gave up more than that.
The only run he's given up all season.
Okay.
He's made 3 starts. He's given up 1 run.
I thought he pitched worse. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I did too. And then I was looking that up earlier today. I went, yeah, Musgrove, he threw a lot of pitches. It wasn't pretty. He struggled. But
who do you think is better, Woodruff or Musgrove?
Well, I mean, if you go on past body of work, you'd have to go Woodruff.
That's my logic. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm just thinking to myself, if you're giving me plus 120 in first 5 with the better starting pitcher, I got to at least consider it.
Here's the problem. Sometimes it happens. The switch gets flipped. I about went broke fading Giolito 2 years ago because he'd been trash.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he learns how to pitch. So could it be the same case as Joe Musgrove this season? Yeah, it could be. I mean, obviously he had the no-hitter, but his first start of the season, he goes 6 innings, he's at 3 runs and no earned, strikes out 8.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. I'm aware of that. It's just
so that's what I'm saying. I'm more interested in the total here with Musgrove and that Milwaukee offense that struggles to score and facing Woodruff, who's been slightly above average. He's been good. Another pitcher that struggled his first time out.
He's got a 2.12 ERA, so I'm not complaining.
Been very good his last 2. He's gone 13 innings, given up 1 earned in the last 2 starts.
Yep.
Gave up three earned in 4 innings his first time out. So
I don't have a list in front of me, and it's purely subjective. I think Woodruff might be one of the most underrated starting pitchers in the league.
You don't have a list of underrated starting pitchers in.
I don't, but I'll tell you what, he's been like the ace of Milwaukee staff for years, and they were 1 game away from the World Series.
Yes,
and people still don't really acknowledge how good Woodruff is.
I would agree. Yeah, I give you a hard time, but Woodruff is a very solid pitcher.
Mm.
And it's one of the reasons that we talked about this Milwaukee team that we thought the pitching would be able to keep him in it because the hitting was going to be a little slow to develop, and that is certainly it's certainly been accurate. So we'll see what happens there. And so your official prediction there is Milwaukee first 5 taking the value.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, so I don't want to go. I agree with you that the first 5 under makes sense there, but I'm just going to look at Woodruff and just take the plus 120 because he's a phenomenal pitcher, or even take Brewers plus a half first 5. If you think it's going to be a low-scoring game and you get the tie in your favor, then why not take the plus a half at like minus 115, 120?
Yep. Yeah, Woodruff, by the way, career ERA 3.57.
Yeah, he's good.
Career WHIP 1.15 or 1.11. So yeah, really solid.
Yeah. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the games.
Yeah. Yep. All right. There you go. As always, if you're looking for more information on these games or any other games, make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives and predictions into every game every single day. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners, we appreciate you guys watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's the deal. So we wish you luck. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting.